groovy.
I got some new games. Oh, what a glorious day. Oh, get new games. The KidShoryuken way.
Hey everybody, Jim here on this chilly December night in my apartment here in Tokyo, enjoying a little bit of hot chocolate and shooting a pickups video because it's been a little while, maybe a month and a half, 2 months since I've done one, and I haven't picked up a lot, but I did pick up some pretty good stuff, and I've been documenting a lot of it with these game hunting videos I've been shooting recently. So I figured why not sit down, warm up with some hot chocolate, and talk about some retro games that I picked up recently. Alright, so yeah, those of you who have been watching some of the hunting videos I've been doing recently, you'll already know what a bunch of this is. A couple of these though, this one for example, this is Bomberman 2 on the Famicom. This one I did not feature in a game hunting video, but I did share pictures on Instagram. If you don't already, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. Links in the description. I was actually in the nearby area of Asagaya because I had to go to the city office to fill out some paperwork. And while I was in town, I figured I'd pop into the local book off, and this was one of the games I picked up there. Bomberman 2, pretty good. Kind of more of the same. It's Bomberman. I believe if you have a multi-tap, you can play up to 4 players on this, I think. So yeah, Bomberman, I'm pretty sure like the NES version of Bomberman 2 is pretty expensive. Famicom version though is fairly common. I think I picked this up for like 15 bucks or something. Not expensive at all, and a very fun game, and in very great condition too, which I was very happy to see that. Bomberman 2, wonderful game. This one, really just excellent to add to the collection. It is DuckTales on the Famicom, complete in-box. Not everything is like perfect, like the box is, got some damage to it. The manual is pretty ratty. But I just, I came across this at the nearby book off near the station where I live. And it was like 40 bucks, and I already had a loose cart, but yeah, why not? Boxed DuckTales, who's gonna argue with that? And the game itself is awesome. It's an 8-bit classic, if you will. This and the sequel are really good. I've said before that I actually prefer DuckTales 2, particularly in the gameplay department. I feel like it controls better, but this game you really can't go wrong with. And the soundtrack is just amazing. Beautiful stuff. DuckTales on the Famicom. If you notice, I'm kind of burning through these kind of quickly because I don't want to keep you here all day. And also, I'm hungry. I don't want to get dinner, so I'm not trying to linger too much. Nobody likes a guy who lingers, Get in, get out, get the hell out. Also at that same book off in Asagaya, I picked up this game, Wild Tracks. This, I believe the other title for it is Stunt Race FX, because it uses the FX chip to make some very primitive looking 3D models, similar to Star Fox. So yeah, not great looking 3D models at all, and the gameplay is pretty choppy, but for whatever reason I still do like this game. Especially I rented it as a kid and really enjoyed it. It still has that Nintendo charm to it. There's races and there's stunt things as well, and you gotta jump and hit all the little icons before time runs out and everything. So Wild Tracks, aka Stunt Race FX for the Super Famicom and SNES. This is a really good game. I do like it quite a bit. Next up, I picked up this game, Spriggan Lunarverse. And I picked this up, one, because it was 300 yen, which is less than $3. And just looking at it, it's by From Software, and it looked like a cool action title on the back. And Spriggan, I believe I've heard of, is an anime, right? So I was like, okay, for 300 yen, I can give that a shot. Unfortunately, not very good. It is an action title, like action beat-em-up shooting game, and I've only played it for about an hour, but it was really shitty. It wasn't very good. Didn't control well. The camera kind of sucked, and it just wasn't wasn't really doing it for me. But it was only 300 yen, so I didn't really lose a lot. If anyone has ever played this and has a different opinion on it, go ahead and offer that in the comments. This game, though, super awesome. Pick this up in Hamura. It is Snowboard Kids Plus. Anyone who's played Snowboard Kids on the Nintendo 64, you know what this is. It's basically like a snowboard kart racer hybrid. So you can race, and then you get like power-ups, and you can use weapons against each other and everything. Very similar to any kart racer you've ever played. But there are other things too. There are like trick events and various gameplay modes, and there are lots of different types of boards. It's kind of like in Cool Borders, where they're like all-around boards, and then like trick boards and boards built for racing and speed. So there are various kinds of boards, and you can unlock more by winning races and collecting money and other things like that. So Snowboard Kids Plus by Atlas. This is very cool. So this, and there are 2 Snowboard Kids games on the N64, and I believe only the first one got released outside of Japan, but this whole series is pretty cool. Snowboard Kids, I like it a lot. A nice game to play wintertime game. I was having a lot of fun with it. Hope you don't mind. I take the occasional chocolate break because I'm in desperate need of chocolate. My chocolate levels are low. Next up, also picked this up in Hamura. It is the King of Fighters 97 on the Sega Saturn. And this game does require the 4 megabyte RAM expansion cart. And it's very good. I would say gameplay and everything. I mean, it's all really very accurate to the arcade. It's just, you know, there are load times, but they're pretty fast. Like I said, that 4 megabyte RAM card really makes a difference. But it's a great game. KOF 97. Always hard to choose a favorite when it comes to a series like King of Fighters. For me, I think like King of Fighters 11 is probably my favorite, and either like 98 or Dream Match 99. I mean, those are really great too. But King of Fighters 97, and I picked this up for, it was like $10, and complete with spine card and everything, and in really great shape. And I'm a huge King of Fighters fan, so could not go wrong with KOF 97 on the Saturn. This I picked up at the same hobby off, as a matter of fact. Power Stone 2 on the Dreamcast. Gotta love this game. I actually picked it up. It was 600 yen, so less than $6, and it was still factory sealed. And obviously I broke the seal off of it so I could play it, because honestly, what was I going to do with a factory sealed Power Stone? I mean, I only paid less than $6 for it. What am I going to do, sell it for $7? So it didn't really make much sense to me to keep it sealed. So I cracked it open and was having some fun with it. Just an amazing game, very addictive, fun, up to 4 players at a time, and really you just can't go wrong with Power Stone 2. The original Power Stone is great as well, but Power Stone 2, if you ask me, that's where it's at. Power Stone 2 on the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast. What a console. Always makes me think of Christmas. Doesn't it make you think of Christmas? Did anyone else get a Dreamcast for Christmas when they were a kid? That's what I think of when I play my Dreamcast, especially when I play Shenmue or Jet Set Radio. 2 great games to play around Christmas time just because I got them. You ever do that? You ever attach like a certain kind of feeling to a game? Like, this is a game I got during Christmas, so even though it's not a Christmas game, it has absolutely nothing at all to do with Christmas, for some odd reason I get the urge to play it around Christmas time just because, like, I attach that memory of that day to that game, and it's just a thing. Or is that just me? I'd love to know. Chocolate break. So the rest of these games are all on the PC Engine. If you saw the Hard Off video I posted recently in Akashima, you saw me pick up all of these games, but I thought I could talk about them here. First up is Moto Rotor 2, and the Moto Rotor games are top-down racing games, and I guess kind of like rally car kind of style. Like, as you're driving, it'll tell you like when the next turn is and how you got to turn at this angle or that angle or whatever, and that's pretty cool. This one adds some more like combat elements to it though, so you can upgrade your cars to have like, for lack of a better term, like more HP and like weaponry, and just make them nice and sturdy and bulky. so you can smash up the other cars. This one has like a future racing motif. Pretty sure the first one didn't. The first one was just kind of like your normal racing game with like anime characters and stuff. But yeah, Motor Rotor and Motor Rotor 2, these are both pretty cool games. They're fun little distractions, and especially if you like those top-down rally racing style games. I think of like Neo Drift Out, the Neo Geo game, something like that. You'll have some fun with Motor Rotor. Next up, this game kind of cracks me up actually. It's Rastan Saga 2 by Taito, and Rastan Saga, just a side-scrolling action title, very Conan the Barbarian-esque. And you can see like a couple of guys on here. One's got a sword, the other one's got these giant like Wolverine claws, and those are power-ups you can get in the game. So you start with like a sword and shield, and you can block things with the shield, but your range is limited with your short sword. You get this big, long, two-handed sword that has like really awesome range and power, and then you can get Wolverine claws. For whatever reason, somebody thought that was a good idea. So not like the greatest playing game ever, but I enjoy it. It's fun. It's got a certain charm to it. I like the Rastan Saga games. I don't know, their motif and how they play and the sound and everything. It reminds me kind of like in the same vein as games like Altered Beast or Golden Axe, stuff like that. That kind of like fantasy motif and everything. So yeah, Rastan Saga 2, pretty cool on the PC Engine. A couple of shoot 'em ups here on the PC Engine CD. I got a copy of Super Darius 2, or Darius, as I guess it's supposed to be called. That's how it's spelled in Japanese, Darius. I've liked this series of games pretty much forever. I think since the first time I played Darius Twin on the SNES, like a long time ago when I was a little kid. One of the earlier shooters I'd played, and I've liked them ever since then. This game, at first I was like really surprised at how big the ship is, the ship sprites. They're very big, and so I was like, okay, we got really like big ships and big things in here, lots of like detail and color and everything. And it plays, really well. Any Darius game is going to play pretty good. But what really stuck out to me for this game was the soundtrack. I guess is it like a Zuntata soundtrack? Weren't they the people that were at Taito or something? Although this is ported by NEC Avenue. Anyway, the soundtrack in this game is amazing. There's like screaming guitars here and there, and there's like synth and all this. I don't know. Go look up the Super Darius 2 PC Engine soundtrack and just listen to some of the tunes in this game. They're really awesome. So a good shooter overall, but for me the soundtrack was like the most standout feature. And last but not least, this one is by Nagsat. Nagsat always made some pretty good stuff. This is Double Ring, right? Double Ring, not W Ring. There's a W here, but it's meant to just be read as double, because it says so on the spine. Double Ring, very good. This game, I will say, is just like super generous with the power-ups. Like it felt like there was a power-up like every 5 seconds. Because when you pick them up, you can keep picking them up and get stronger, but then you get hit and you go back to your base form. But then if you pick up another power-up, you get a hit back again. It's kind of like your power-ups, but they also sort of represent like a HP in a way, like they're an extra hit. But there are so many power-ups that you could keep picking them up and keep going. And even if you get hit, just hold out for like another 10 seconds. You probably pick up another power-up. And they change color pretty rapidly. So if you like a specific power-up, you have to pick it up pretty quickly. But the power-ups are varied. There's like a half a dozen of them. So there's like a half a dozen colors, and it just blinks on and off. And you just have to be quick and snatch the color you want. Sometimes you end up, just because things are getting frantic, you grab something you didn't want. But overall, this is a very fun shooter. Action-packed, pretty well made. At first, like the first couple of stages, I was like, okay, this is good, kind of on the easy side. But as it picks up, some of the stages actually got pretty tough. They start throwing a lot more enemies at you. And there was one stage where like it was just scrolling like so fast, and you have to like dip and dodge. Almost reminded me of one of the stages from Aeroblasters a little bit. It wasn't quite as narrow as that, but in a similar vein. So Double Ring on PC Engine. Another one that I picked up in Akishima that I'm very happy with. I came home that night, started playing it pretty much immediately, and was really enjoying it. Actually played all of these PC Engine games that night. Just sat down with some beers and had myself a fun little PC Engine night. But the Double Ring on PC Engine, very cool indeed. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all of the pickups I got recently. So, hope you enjoyed taking a look at some of these games. Hope you've been enjoying the game hunting videos I've been doing recently. Plan on doing quite a lot more. And coming up pretty soon, I'm going to go on kind of like my annual like holiday game hunting trip in Akiba. Because this time around, actually, I'm going to go look for some things for myself. It's Christmas time, so I don't mind splurging. But I'm also going to be looking for some stuff for some other people. I've had a few orders come in since I've started selling games, and so there are a handful of people that have requested some stuff and sent me some money. So I'm going to be out there in Akiba trying to pick up everything on their wish list. I try like every time I go to like hard offs and things like that as well, but some things are pretty specific. So it's either go there or, you resort to like eBay or Amazon or something. Who really wants to do that? That takes out kind of the thrill of the hunt. Plus, there's always the opportunity that I could just find it cheaper there anyway. It's not always the most dire straits of situations there. So that's going to be fun. Going to go do some game shopping for the holidays in Akiba. But other than that, just thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for subscribing. This is the end of the year. I said this before, 2019 was a very good year for this channel. About 10,000 new subscribers, over 1 million views, blah, 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 blah. But just thank you, everybody, for watching. You keep watching them, and I'll keep making them. And I guess that's how we're going to go about this. But thanks for watching this video, everyone. Down in the comments, let me know what you thought, if you've played any of these games, and what do you think about them. And anything else I've said while I rambled on all through this video, because I've pretty much forgot everything I said already. But whatever you want to say down in the comments, go ahead and put it down there. And I love to. Not that I can't. I don't always respond to all the comments because sometimes there are a lot, and it's just people get busy. But I do read every single comment. I promise you that. So yeah, whatever you got to say, leave it down in the comments. I'll be happy to read it. Thank you, everybody, and hope you enjoyed. Hope you have an awesome holiday, whatever holiday it is you celebrate in December, or if you don't, just have an awesome day, and we're good with that. So thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.